So now where are you?
I mean, it's great, and I'm wanting to feel that flow of energy. I feel like I'm up here a lot of the time. I do. I guess I'm looking for the manifestations to support that because I haven't been seeing them. It's like a little bit of doubt and then a little...
This is the distinction that we want you to understand. We want you to understand that when that idea comes and it feels good, that idea of even wanting something, when that idea comes, we want you to feel and know that that idea is a manifestation. It is a manifestation that has come out of this vortex. And that impulse to act is a manifestation. It's like the woman who wanted the $100,000 so that she could begin to travel. We wanted her to recognize all of the journey that she'd been on and the manifestations that were happening before she even came to the desire for the money to continue the journey.
Okay, so let's do this.
Yes.
So I want a house on Martha's Vineyard.
Yes.
I want to be on the ocean. I'm close to the ocean.
Yes.
So let's use this as an example. So I've been actually wanting this for a couple of years.
Yes.
It's only really been an idea in my head. It's only been like a fantasy that I go to and I think about it periodically, and yet I haven't really seen or felt or interpreted any signs or any ideas. Oh, I could do this, or I could do this. I could do this, or I could do that.
All right, so why do you think that you don't have a house on Martha's Vineyard yet?
Well, I don't have the money to buy it. I know. I'm not even close to it. And I feel the resistance in that. I do, of course.
It's all right. It's all right. But the reason that we asked the question and the reason we are so much appreciating your candid answer is because it's as we were talking earlier, that when you have a belief that is dominant, then the desire can't be received in a way that there is a viable trail to it. So what we're saying to you is that desire is not active enough, long enough before the doubtful thought about it is dominating the vibration of it. So what you do is you stay off the subject that brings the doubt. In other words, you've got to somehow find a way to deactivate the doubt part of that within your experience. So do you feel wrong not living on Martha's Vineyard yet?
No.
Really? Because you're really failing at this desire.
I know. Do I feel wrong? I don't feel wrong for anything.
So this is not diminishing your sense of value or worth?
No.
Really?
Not for the most part.
You said, I don't live there yet because I don't have the money.
Yeah.
And then you said, not even close. Not even close.
It's just discouragement. It's not like feeling wrong. It's not feeling...
This is really good.
Discouragement.
So here's the question. Are you sometimes, when you're tapped in, turned on, and you in that receiving mode, the idea of that comes to you and it feels good for a moment before you crush it with your discouragement. And your discouragement is a vibration that is this receiving mode. So we just want to ask you a simple question. Which receiving mode do you think you're mostly in? The discouragement receiving mode or the exhilaration, all of the fantastic things about living there?
Probably more here.
So it's all right.
60-40, 70-30.
90-10. So... But it's okay because your inner being knows what you want and knows where you are. And so it's constantly offering you a thought that sort of sneaks up when you're not even looking about that. That's why your desire will never go away. It will always be alive. But the question is, how close to the receiving mode of that are you? So when you hit it head on, as we have sort of forced you to do through our impertinent questions here, it does activate a vibration that holds you in a holding pattern. And so you could avoid the subject altogether and focus on other things where it's easy for you to stay in the receiving mode. And if you could do that, your receptive mode about not having enough money would in time dissipate, and this would be dominant, and then you would break through with some ideas. Does that make sense to you at all? Can you see that happening at all? Can you hear us when we say, if you could cease to offer the vibration of disappointment and doubt about something, that the cork would float to the surface of the water and you'd be right there where the ideas would flow?
I'm going to have to get off the subject of owning a house, period. Because owning anything, whether it's a car or whether it's a house, I live in New York City, so I don't have a car. And I haven't had a car in years and years.
Why not?
Because I don't need one. I'm in New York, and because it's too expensive to have one in New York.
All right, so there's that vibration again. So what you're saying is that there are many things that you are living and that you're observing that cause you on a pretty regular basis to offer thoughts to hold a vibration, to practice a vibration that doesn't allow you to be steadily in the receptive mode of something that you know for sure you want. But this is the thing that we so want you to hear. If you were not anywhere near that receptive mode, oh, this is the most important thing that you'll ever hear from us. This is a really important breakthrough for you. This is really a wonderful thing for you to acknowledge. And we're happy that we're here as you're going to receive it.
You know, I gotta go. I have to use the bathroom. Can we read?
We'll tell it to the next guy. The fact that you know for sure, and we can feel it from you, we can feel the definition of it within you. The fact that you know for sure that this is something that you want means that you were in the receptive mode to receive that, and means that it is so much further along the way than you know. It exists and it is real and it will manifest into your experience. It is absolute. It is not in question. It is sure. If this time-space reality has the wherewithal to give you the contrast that causes it to grow, and you receive the idea of it that you want it, once that has happened, you're more than 90% along the way to the receiving of it, you see. You just have to bring it home by not doubting it and preventing it from coming into your experience. Now, we know that's hard to hear because you are, most of you, accustomed to seeing things and having an emotional response to them. So if something that you want is happening, then you have a good feeling. But if something that you don't want is happening, then you have a bad feeling. It's not the easiest thing in the world to be standing in the middle of something that you do not want and have the feeling of what you do want. And yet that really is the work. So you said something very smart. You said, I have to get off the subject of that, because when I'm on the subject of that, my disappointment dominates. Well, isn't that nice to know? You see, the creative process says, ask and it is given. So you've asked, it's in the vortex, and it's already ripe for your plucking. So if you stay on the subject of owning things, or on the subject of scarcity, or on the subject of any of these things that are bothering you, then you continue to throw new resistance on your path that prevents you from being in the receptive mode where something clicks that is the path to what you want. Did you hear that? Let's say that there are 5 subjects that are important to you, and 4 of them you have doubt and disappointment about. But one of them you have no doubt or disappointment about, like what you started with us today. I have a lot of talent. I have a lot of creative ability. The things that I want often come to fruition. And so as you focus upon that one thing that doesn't hold you in the receiving mode of disappointment or overwhelmment, but holds you in the receptive mode of positive expectation and appreciation and passion and enthusiasm, as you focus on whatever it is that holds you in that vibration, you're going to be in the receptive mode of everything that's in your vortex. That's so important to understand, but you don't really know that. Instead, you want to talk about 5 things, and this one isn't working, so I've got this idea. I want to live on Martha's Vineyard. Dun, da, 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 da. And then you do processes. How can I make myself believe that? Claw your way up the emotional scale. It doesn't work, does it? Find something that holds you there and use that as your excuse to be in the receptive mode and allow everything that's in your vortex to be realized by you, you see. And so it's a process, because when you have some momentum going about a subject, and everybody does, and then you find yourself accidentally in the receptive mode and a glimmer of hope comes through and you feel exhilarated about it, and then your practical mind focuses and back you go to discouragement, you see. So the key is just to not beat up on yourself about that, because that's natural, whatever momentum you've got going. Do you believe us when we say that the fact that the desire occurred to you and you spoke it with such clarity, it lets us know for sure how active and alive this desire is within you, and that if you can stay off the subject or find a way to be consistently on that subject and feel good, that ideas will continue to come? It has to be. It must be. It is so exhilarating for us to see the things that you ask for and to know that they are there, ripe and ready for your plucking. And it is so exhilarating to us to watch you find your vibrational path to them. Your vibrational path, and these were your words to us, and they were so wise. Your vibrational path to most of the things that you really want is not by driving hard on the subject of them, because every subject is really two subjects, wanting it and the absence of it. And so sometimes without even knowing it, that's where your momentum is. Do you ever find yourself talking about something that you want and saying to yourself, I felt better before I wanted that? But the thing is, once you've desired it, and once the manifestation of the idea has come to you, you can't back off of that. It will torture you until you allow yourself the full manifestation of it. Because all of source energy is on it. Your inner being is on it. Everything is orchestrated. The events are all lined up. The circumstances and events are all lined up for your reception. But you are the creator of your own reality, not your inner being. Your inner being cannot move you to it. Your inner being can only inspire you to it by knowing it so powerfully, you see. And then when you catch those glimmers, oh, it matters so much. That's why they feel so good to you when you catch them. And that's why it feels so bad to them when you kill them with your doubt.